Hey there YouTube! There has been a question on my mind that I've been trying to answer for a while, so I figured I would make it into a discussion video. And the question is, do I hate audiobooks? Now before you rage comment, the short answer to this question is no, I don't hate audiobooks. But I have had some interesting experiences with audiobooks, so I thought I would kind of make it into a discussion about how we interact with the books that we read. So first off, there are a ton of benefits to audiobooks. For one, they are a super accessible form of reading for people who are not able to read physical books. So audiobooks are really valuable for that kind of community. For people who are able to read physical books, they're a great way to multitask or to read when you can't sit down and pick up a physical book. I typically read my audiobooks when I am driving to work on my commute. Sometimes I'll read them when I'm cleaning or when I go grocery shopping. The majority of my audiobook experience is in the car. I feel like the majority of audiobooks that I've listened to, I do not like. I don't know if it's me just picking the wrong books to read, or it's just me not interacting with audiobooks the way I should. So let's go over some of the experiences that I've had with audiobooks to try and answer this question. There have been some audiobooks that I am in love with and I adored, and I loved the experience of listening to those books. The first one is Felicia Day's memoir, You're Never Weird on the Internet, Almost. I loved this book. It's read by Felicia herself, so it feels like she's talking to you. And I was moved to tears by the end of this book because I was so inspired and it connected so much with me. The other really positive experience I had with audiobooks was the Lunar Chronicles series by Marissa Meyer. I read this entire series through audiobooks, and for a while that was the only way I had experienced the Lunar Chronicles until I bought Stars Above and Wires and Nerve. But I am in love with the Lunar Chronicles, like so much that I have the whole series in physical books now because I just had to have it. Those are two audiobook experiences that were really great and I really enjoy. There are some other ones where it was kind of in the middle. The example I have for this kind of in the middle experience is the Winner's Trilogy by Marie Rakotsky. So I have the physical copy of The Winner's Curse, and I read this book as a physical copy. The next two books in the series I read as audiobooks, and I did not love them as much as I loved this book. I was really into this series and I was really excited to read the rest of them. But when I read them on audiobook, I didn't really connect with the characters, I didn't connect with the story, and I didn't like them as much as I liked the first one. Now I don't know, and this is where my problem comes in. I don't know if this is a product of just the rest of the series being not so great, or it's a product of I changed the way that I read these books. So I started off physical copy, then I finished it in audiobook, so the experiences are going to be different. I have somebody else's voice in my head telling me what these characters are saying and how they sound, and I can't really answer the question of if the audiobook ruined my experience of this series or if it's just the series itself just not living up to its first book. And the rest of my audiobook experiences have not been so great. There have been books that I have read that are widely loved that I cannot stand. One of these being Ready Player One by Ernest Cline. I did not enjoy this book whatsoever, but I feel like I can have some specific points on why I don't like this book. I felt like the 80s references were very heavy-handed and just kind of detracted from the story, and it added too much to it. I didn't really connect with those references either, maybe because I'm not of that specific generation, but also it perpetuated a lot of stereotypes and a lot of types of people on that I do not like on the internet, a lot of bad stereotypes in a positive light. There was just that book had a lot about internet culture and the way people act on the internet that I don't agree with and that I think is kind of toxic. Then also there is his Dark Materials series by Philip Pullman. I don't like this series at all, and it is a well-loved, beloved series that so many people like. I very rarely hear people talk poorly of this series, but I don't like it. The audiobooks for this series are amazing. They are theatrical, there's music and different actors for different voices, and it's just they're very well produced audiobooks, but just the story I didn't like. And I can't really, there are a few issues I have with maybe some of the messages from this series, but I am kind of flip-flopping on those like themes and things like that, so I can't really pinpoint exactly why I don't like these books. It might have something to do with that I read it exclusively on. Another series I also really didn't like is the Firebirds series by Claudia Gray. This is like a science fiction romance type of series that seems like it would be right up my alley, and a lot of people really like this series, but I don't like it, and I have like DNF'd the third book because I don't want to put myself through that pain anymore. I gave the second book 1 star on Goodreads because I hated it so much. A lot of people really like this series, but I don't, and I can't really pinpoint exactly why I don't like this series. That's also an example of something that I've read only on audiobook, and I don't know what the experience of reading the physical book is like. Maybe I would like the physical book if I had read it that way, but I listened to it on audiobook. I really want to continue listening to audiobooks and experiencing books in an auditory way, if that makes any sense. The conclusion here is that I don't hate audiobooks in general, it's just I have a weird experience with them. I don't know if the reason I'm having these bad experiences with audiobooks is because they're audiobooks or because I just don't like the book. I want to open this up to you. Do you have any experiences like this? Have you listened to an audiobook that you didn't like but then read the physical book and then really liked it? Let me know. If you want to make a video on this topic, it would be great to have like a booktube discussion about this. I'd love to hear your thoughts, or just like put your thoughts in the comments. That would be great. Just let me know what your experiences with audiobooks are, and kind of the ratio of books that you really like in audiobook form and the type and books that you don't like. I'm gonna continue to listen to audiobooks and finding those audiobooks that I really, really like. Maybe it's just a matter of sifting through everything and finding something that really connects to me. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel if you want to hear more from me. That's all I've got for you guys today. I'm Chrissy Lou. Till next time, matane!